be seeing you, my friend. That's what you deserve. Oh, hi! I'm Eric Creel, the Reviewer King, also the Trolls World Tour Fanboy 2002. Looks like I'm here today to review the film Flushed Away. Let's get started. Here's the plot. We have Roddy St. James, who want to do some montage things with their dolls. And then suddenly happens is when Roddy gets a new dress, and it's pretty much happens is they like to pretend like James Bond, and then suddenly happens when Roddy St. James have fun time with a montage, and it's pretty much happens is when Roddy meets Sid, and it's basically happens is when Roddy and Sid want to give a deal to take a jacuzzi whirlpool bath. And then suddenly happens is when Roddy gets flushed down the drain, and it pretty much happens is when Roddy goes into the sewer, and it's pretty much happens is when Roddy meets the new city in the sewer, and they need to find a way to find the new character. And you know what? Roddy meets the new character named Rita. And it's pretty much happens is when Roddy and Rita who want to find a way and also meet Whitey and Spike. And it's pretty much happens is when Whitey and Spike, including Roddy and Rita, who want to go to the Toad. And it's pretty much happens is when the Toad who wants to find diverting, and then it's pretty much happens is when Roddy gets almost sudden crashed up, and it's basically happens is when Roddy and Rita got stuck into the ice maker, and then suddenly happens is when Roddy and Rita who wants to escape into the ice maker, and it's pretty much happens is when the Toad needs to find Roddy and Rita at all costs. And then basically when Rita is feeling awesome and responsible, and then suddenly happens is when Roddy has a less mistake, and it basically happens is when Roddy need the help to find a way, and pretty much happens is when Roddy and Rita, who basically happens is when Roddy got the ruby, and Roddy says it's supposed to be fake, and suddenly when Roddy breaks Rita's ruby, and then basically happens is when Rita gets mad of Roddy, and then he wants to being disrespectful things, and then when Roddy who wants to apologize to Rita, and it's basically happens is when Roddy and Rita who want to meet Rita's family, and then it's basically happens is when Roddy who wants to take the Rita's boat, and then when suddenly happens is when Rita finally sees Roddy, and then Roddy puts into the rubber ducky thing, and then when Roddy sings Ice Cold Rita, and then suddenly when Roddy comes back into the normal subject with Rita. And then suddenly when Roddy who wants to find a way, and then when Whitey and Spike who wants to attack Roddy, and then suddenly happens is when Rita wants to find a way to speed up, and then when Roddy and Rita needs to find a way to trap the bad guys, and then suddenly happens is when Whitey and Spike who wants to capture Roddy at all costs, but it can't, and you know what it is because Spike and Whitey got sucked. And then pretty much happens is when the Toad meets the Frog, and it's basically happens is when the Toad tells the origin stories, and then it's basically happens is when the Frog needs to find a way to find Roddy and Rita at all costs. And it's pretty much happens is when Roddy and Rita had tasty nighttime snack, and it pretty much happens is when Roddy and Rita need to take a nighttime to sleep. to getting close to Kensington into tomorrow, and for the next day when Ryan and Rita need to find a way to go back home to Kensington. And it pretty much happens is when with the Le Frog who need to find basically with Rita. And when suddenly happens is when the Toad wants to see the Master Cable, and then when the rest of the frogs who wants to catch the fly with a tongue, and but except the frog who wants to capture Rita's Master Cable, aka belt, and then suddenly happens is when Ryan Rita needs to find a way to help float like a parachute. And then when Rita finds the Master Cable back, and then when Ryan Rita being free in London, and they like to come back to Kensington. And then suddenly happens is when Rottie and Rita who want to find a way in Kensington and to meet Sid. And it's pretty much happens is when Rise feel lonely and the little slugs who sing lonely song. And then when Roddy who wants to close the door who get annoyed by the slugs. That's so funny. And then when Sid who wants to watch of the FIFA World Cup final. And then when Roddy needs to help to talk to Sid for the halftime. And then when Roddy needs the help of Sid and need to go to find help for Rita. And then basically happens is when the Toad finally solves Rita, and then they give it to the Master Cable to open the floodgate. And then when Roddy and Sid need the help thankful, and especially Roddy needs to come back into the sewer, and then pretty much happens is for the rescue mission to save Rita. And it pretty much happens is while Stop Sacrifice when the Toad and the bad guys, and especially the frogs like the frog, and suddenly happens is when soon as the frogs got freezed, and it pretty much happens when the frog and the Toad who want to capture Ryan Rita at all costs. And then basically happens is when the Toad who wants to catch Rita with his tongue. And then basically happens is when the frog who wants to capture Ryan but can't because Roddy needs to save Rita. And then pretty much happens is when the ice wants to freeze the flood and they need to save the sewer city. And it's pretty much happens is when Ryan and Rita has been saved and they given a happy ending dance. And then in the post credits, when Sid meets the new cat and it's scared. And that's pretty much the plot. What do I think of it? It's awesome for my childhood. The first time I watched that as a kid. And then I finally rewatched it in 5 days ago. And then what do I think of it? It's awesome! One of the best animated features of 2006 ever since Cars and Happy Feet. The animation looks really cool. The story, very awesome. And the characters, we have Roddy St. James, the main character. He's awesome, played by the legendary Logan, aka Wolverine, from the X-Men films, known as Hugh Jackman. And then we have Rita, another main character. She's awesome, best character of them all, and it's the legendary voice acting with Kate Winslet. And then we have Le Frog. He's awesome. Sid, he's really funny. The same names of Sid from the Ice Age films. And then we have the Toad. He is the best main antagonist of them all. Played by the legendary Magneto from the X-Men films, known as Ian McKellen. And then we have Whitey and Spike. They are awesome. And Whitey, played by Bill Nye, which is the same cast who did from the horrible Bill Nye's character named Socrates from North of the North. And also Bill Nye's another character played in the main guy from Bill Nye who which is the president or the mayor from Pokemon Detective Pikachu, the movie. And then the rest of the characters are so awesome, including the Rita's family. They are awesome. The frogs, they are awesome. And the slugs look really awesome who want to sing. And the rest of the characters look so awesome, including the music score. It is so awesome. And the Ice Cold Rita song looks so catchy and awesome. Do I have issues and negatives? Nope. It's an awesome animated feature. And it's the best animated films of 2006 ever since Happy Feet, Cars, and even Over the Hedge. And it came out the exact same year as one of the best picture of all time, Casino Royale 007. Overall, it gets a 10 out of 10. Amazing, brilliant masterpiece. And it gets the seal of epic masterpiece. Ooh. Hope you all enjoyed. Tell me, what do you think of this film? Whether you loved it or not, comment below and let me know. Hope you all enjoy, and goodbye!